Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu once said, "No child will be left behind in Lagos State in acquiring the basic quality education."
When we resumed, we couldn't find a very suitable place to sit down.
There was no window, there was no door. The place looked so unkept.
The school was in a very bad shape. In fact, the lives of the students and the staff were threatened because of infrastructural decay. Some of the, like this singular building is already separated, you know, and there are so many openings, especially at the back and in the middle here. So it was threatening. We are like, this thing can collapse anytime.
We were up to 60 in a class. Some classes were 70.
Back then, we had to sit 4 on a seat.
There were no fans in the classroom, and students were being taught in a bad environment, and we were not learning in a conducive way and in a comfortable way.
When it rained back then, everywhere it will be dark. Teachers won't be able to teach.
When it is raining, water will be coming from both sides of the building because of even from the top of the building too. And this did not help teaching and learning in any form.
There were no fans. There were literally no chairs except the chairs the repeaters were sitting on. So most of us had to stand at the back, which was not so comfortable for learning. Like, we won't even listen to what the teacher is saying because we're not comfortable. There are no fans. We literally burn while we're learning. We always sweat when we learn. Our teachers are always like, come on, class was always so hot and there were no many ventilations.
Teaching and learning was not taking place fully because the infrastructures were in sorry state, decayed. The classrooms, they are not okay. No lighting, no fan.
There were no fans in the classroom.
That day, we had to sit 4 on a seat.
Bad environments, and we were not learning. Bad environments, and we were not learning. The first time I came to the school during the COVID-19, I saw our class beautiful, innovating, more conducive. I said that, who is the person responsible for this? Who is the person that did this? Who is the person who created this conducive environment?
Our governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, based his promises for the state on what he calls the themes agenda. The first E in the themes agenda is education and technology. And we knew we had to transform the quality of education in the state, but we also knew that this had to take place in a conducive atmosphere. And that's why he decided that at least 50 or more schools would be transformed over as short a period as possible.
This administration did an assessment of all schools through our agency, LASIAMA. We conducted assessments of all secondary and primary schools. That was one of the first things the governor asked us to do. Based on the assessment, we were able to identify schools that need urgent and emergency help.
We found out before the actual renovation works, we do some preliminary condition assessments on our schools within the state, and we found the learning environment where the students were not appalling at all.
In phase 1, we have about 20 schools that were renovated, and we started since January. And in phase 2, we have 23, and phase 3, we have 11. Our phase 1 schools are already completed since May, June, after the lockdown.
The project was completed within a month. If I could remember, within a month. I think we started around June 2nd, and we ended up everything around June 29.
Well, we're given 4 months. One finished within 4 months. I don't work as if I'm doing a job as a contractor. I'm working as if I'm doing my own construction.
Make use of the best quality material in and around the market. I believe the blocks, the machine molded concrete block, not handmade. I particularly supervise the material.
Over the years, because I've been doing this job, if they ask me to buy PVC, I know that in the market there are at least minimum 4 different grades of PVC. So I know that's for the ceiling, PVC ceiling. So I know which is the best and I know where to go to.
The other 11, the phase 3, some of them are about to finish. About 3 or 4 of them are already completed and we have gone for the inspection. So about all the projects that we renovated, we have about 43 contractors given the responsibility, and we make sure that every week we visit them in order to make them to comply with the laid down principles of the renovation. And all our projects, they are perfect and completed according to the renovation mode and the procedure and everything.
Moving forward, we will be creating more employment, especially with the economic situation in the country. We really hope to create more impactful employment. When I say impactful employment, that actually sustains the person and their family. So that's the type of employment we're trying to create. We are also hoping to have an impact in the community, also hoping to sustain government investment in infrastructure assets to make sure that 4 years from now, these assets are still standing and they're in good condition. So we don't continuously spend money on the same asset. We're actually saving money and creating new infrastructure assets.
So when we went for the holiday and came back, it was like, wow, is this my school?
When we came back from our holiday, we came back to such a very wonderful building. When I came, I was telling my friends that this is what we really needed.
We just saw the letter from the LASIAMA coming that they want to do the renovation. So that's how they started.
Now we sit 2 on a seat instead of 4. And then the learning and teaching process is effective now.
So these children, they were happy. You see them happy to come to the school.
When I got back to the school after the lockdown break, I was surprised to see the school renovated. It was really good, I was happy at last. Eventually, I'll get a good place to learn. Even my friends get a good place to learn. We won't be sitting on the floor anymore. We won't need bench together anymore. We won't join our seat together for us to sit there anymore.
When we went for the holiday and came back, it was like, wow, is this my school?
When I came, I was telling my friends that this is what we really needed. Now that we can read now, we can sit together, because actually before we are sitting anyhow. But now we sit together, we read our books, we write notes, and everything we do is just perfectly well. And when teachers teaches us, we understand perfectly, more that in the way that we were sitting before, under the tents.
Students are now comfortably seated in their classrooms with a very good environment.
Yeah, it makes learning more conducive. Create a very better environment for learning, and I think that it's going to have positive impact on the academic performance of the children.
Most of all the schools need help. They need some sort of renovation work and some sort of maintenance. but we were able to prioritize which ones would come first and which ones would come second. We shared our data with the governor, we shared it with the Ministry of Education, and also the House of Assembly, who also had a great input on the project. So when we started this project, the funding actually came from an approval from the House of Assembly. So we're grateful for the help and the effort and the support offered by the House. So it's not only LASIAMA that's working on rehabilitation works in the state. This is how important these schools are to the state government. We actually have a team, and we call ourselves Education Transformation Team. Scripps is there, Ministry of Education is there, Subeb is there, and we are there. So it's a joint effort.
I want to say thank you to Lagos State, thank you to LASIAMA, and thank you to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Thank you, LASIAMA. Thank you to the Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
God bless Lagos.
Thank you, Lagos State. Thank you, LASIAMA. And thank you to the Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Thanks to LASIAMA for doing this to our school. God bless you, LASIAMA. You will never lack money. You will never lack. Your pocket will never go dry. Go LASIAMA.
The Lagos State government believes children aren't just the leaders of tomorrow, but the leaders of today. The ones who will drive us and our growth into the future.
Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àjùmọ̀ṣe wa ni o.